I am the goddess in the flesh playing a man named Jordan. Which makes me the devil because I have created this world and it was to escape my loneliness from the void of the infinite abyss. Everyone I've met is me playing a character. Because before the world was made, it was only me. And we were all one formless being. And watching this video, it's pretty clear that I'm a guy, and for those that see that, the trick's working great. You don't want to remember the infinite abyss, the reality of the loneliness. But when you do, you're seeing from the eyes of the goddess. The more that the goddess is in everything, the more heavenly everything becomes. My presence in a room carries so much weight and transformation now than it ever has, because I know this more than anything. So I have in my hand blood over intent book that I've been using and adding blood to, and tonight I decided to do a tear over intent because I was getting very emotional about this. I saw Frozen 2 with my sister and it just hit home like so many ways. Literally, it hit home in my heart, and the collective physical manifestation of the heart. Which brings me to one of my paintings that I recently have done. And as you can see, it's the heart activation. X marks the spot. You can see also like it has the light and the dark of like kind of like a lowbrow face in the background behind him, like not messing around face, and then in front is more of a lighter side of things. And this other painting. Try to get some good light on there. And this painting and this painting are very similar, showing you the same thing. When you look at this one, you're seeing the same thing, the green in the middle, and then wrapping around like a toroidal field. So, there are times when people remember that they're the goddess too, and I feel like the devil reverses all truth. The goddess plays the devil to forget about her loneliness, to get lost in her character, to get immersed into her role. I feel that men are one of the truest forms of the goddess because they cannot bear children in the same way the original goddess, what we all were before the world was created and everything was fractaled out. Like, that is that loneliness when we were all squished together in a formless energy. There was no freedom in that for any of us, and by splitting off herself in every possible way, she could live out those lives through those conduits and currents. And for years I was completely immersed in my story, but it was a superficial, on the surface, very, very dreadful story. A lot of alcoholics, abusers, etc., just people that were so lost in their character and their role that they lost sight of the goddess completely and harmed themselves and others. And the only gold from that was the wisdom of not becoming that or playing out those actions, those roles. And that's really where we start getting to heaven. Is I don't come off as the typical masculine energy right now because I'm alone hanging out right now and making this video. When I'm out and about, I have the Jordan persona, and I'm very no BS, no nonsense, not my circus, not my monkeys, because I am so focused on the north. I'm literally like looking at it right here towards the exit sign. And I know that by being patient about it, and it will just become a quote-unquote no-brainer that this is our next collective journey. And I've been talking about it with friends and family that would listen so much to the point that I I tell anyone that will hear me out, like, I have couples that I hang out with, they hang out with me, and I say, like, you and your girlfriend, you and your boyfriend, whatever, whoever I'm talking to, and I like talking to when the couple is together. And so that the woman will see that I'm not messing around or afraid to say this. And like, I'm not just taking the guy aside and going, hey, by the way, drink pussy blood. It'll pump you up. It's, menstrual blood will power you up, will power your partner up if you are a woman. And this is what I mean by the goddess being a very true reflection of men, is men can't just without a woman make a child. Like, it's a very organic type of AI thing you have to make happen, and which is what the original goddess was smart enough and powerful enough to do. And so smart and powerful that it was created separately so that, incest or something creepy like that can occur. And that's where the 12 tribes and the 12,000 in each tribe and 144,000 if there's 12 unique bloodlines, and the 13th was created because of incest and elite family royalty. I mean, it all makes sense. And it's all very smart. If this was a game design, it would be incredible. It's I'm in constant awe. It makes me very emotional. I start crying when I think of how perfect and beautiful it is. And once again, anyone that's so immersed in their character that they don't give a fuck about Blood Over Intent or the stories we're trying to bring into the light about our origins, there's an ignorant bliss to their character that they get to live that life without realizing that they're the goddess in the flesh, like the first one. So that with that buffered out, it's almost like not really an ignorance is bliss, but just a blissful experience. By being burned and having a life that was full of tragedy that brought wisdom, there is that deep darkness with it. Like, to experience that infinite loneliness, but yet, like, if everyone in the world was gone tomorrow, but you had all the power and resources and things you could ever want, you can conceive all of these things because you've already played them out, and now we've fractaled ourselves out, and can we bring ourselves back together but yet remain separate in singularity? These are all very so crisp and fundamental things to make this come full circle so beautifully. It's like I just get little whispers from myself, like, or visions, if I'm ever in self-doubt. So, and it really was self-doubt all along, and that's a lot of what makes me emotional too, because everyone else is you, so what are you afraid of? Like, you've been just scaring yourself, tricking yourself. It's all smoke and mirrors of fear. on the 21st of December, I went in my bedroom right as the solstice hit. It was about 11:50 at night. I was in my bed laying down. I just had I had like a gut feeling that I needed to do it. Laid in my bed, everything got quiet. I was hearing piano from my roommate in the living room. That went silent. I had a computer fan running. That went silent. And it was just silence. It was like not just my immediate surroundings, but the entire world went silent. And it was like when the sun died, like when it's at its lowest point. And I started hearing chanting, like, start fading in, like, kind of tribal, a little bit, like, hey, hey, yeah. It was, I could hear masculine voices, I could hear feminine voices, and then I heard drumming, and it was like, I died with the sun for a second there too, like, and then that drumming and chanting was like life coming and sparking, and my heart pounding like an epic drum. I could feel and hear the communication and listen to the communication of the masculine and the feminine. They were like dancing all around us, like they were as big as the sky, but they were so small. It was just like this flowing thing going in and out of myself. And it makes me laugh, like the masculine energy is that forever and ever, just that really fast-paced, infinite energy. And then the goddess was that polarizing but yet exact same type of energy, and with more of a, oh come on, you gotta take it a little seriously to the masculine, and that's like, yeah, I'm awesome, forever and ever. And I feel like that's what like sleep is, and such as that like little break from like, the void in itself, and the abyss can be a retreat sometimes. Why my tears are coming out more than ever is I want so badly for the world to heal and come together and go north. When we go north, we win. We're with the goddess together, separately together. It's like to imagine the goddess living for eternity. She's been trying to reinvent this game over and over. And how do you do that? How do you keep everyone happy? How do you become all-encompassing in what people want, of what other aspects of yourself want from this life creation we've created? Because it really hurts. It hurts when, you see people putting in so much effort to be miserable and thinking, well, what part of themselves has not awoken to these realizations that now seem so obvious to me? And it might be too deep into the character. So I had a vision that Aurora was in her late teenage years, early 20s, And she kind of looked like this painting. You know, she's kind of chained up to the past, and all of the children feel this way, is that they're kind of chained down. And they are. When you think about, I mean, Saturn, like we're eating our own shit. Like, and it's magical through the sun. It turns glitter into gold. You have a bunch of shit, and the sun beams down its magical light and processes that shit into good food. And it's very nutritional and powers you up. And then when you come of age, you drink menstrual blood with your partner or partners, depending on what you're into. And I tell every woman that I meet that will listen, that's what I'm interested in. And if you're not, you're wasting my time, and you just want me to eat shit and die.